We begin with new developments. A temporary restraining order stopping 3 Menominee marijuana dispensaries from opening is lifted tonight.
A final decision is coming later this week. 2 of the dispensaries are open again and a 3rd will open tomorrow morning. This is the latest update in a wave of lawsuits the city has faced over its marijuana licenses. TV6's Clint McLeod is here to break down today's hearing. Clint?
Grace and Cody, an emergency court hearing was held in Menominee County Circuit Court to discuss the legality of closing 3 marijuana businesses. The city did not originally grant them licenses to operate. At issue is how the city decided to expand its number of licenses.
Based upon the additional new evidence that has been presented and the potential action that may be taken at the council meeting tomorrow, the court is going to suspend the TRO until further order of this court.
Barglin says sworn affidavits from Menominee City Council members were factors in her decision to temporarily remove the restraining order. The judge says 2 confirmed Open Meeting Act violations by the Menominee City Council in July contributed to her initial ruling to block 3 cannabis dispensaries from remaining open.
Potential public harm that can come when you go into closed session for an improper purpose and or discuss things that are not appropriate is immense.
An emergency city council meeting is scheduled for tomorrow. City Attorney Matthew Cross says he is hopeful the city council can pass a resolution correcting the mistakes made in a July meeting. Cross adds Menominee has been caught in the middle of a lengthy corporate legal battle.
And what you have on either side are big marijuana companies fighting over money. That's it. You got this community stuck in the middle. I think ultimately Menominee is going to be a cautionary tale for any community that thinks they want to opt into allow these types of facilities.
Attorneys representing Higher Love, Loom, and Nirvana cannabis dispensaries argued to Bargland this issue is a legislative debate, not a judicial one. However, attorneys representing the plaintiffs, Rise Up and the fire station, say they were severely damaged by the Open Meetings Act violations. Bargland recognized the extraordinary circumstance of the order.
These temporary restraining orders, the court believes, were properly entered on November 2nd or 3rd, whenever it was, based upon the information presented to the court.
Bargland says she has postponed her final ruling until after tomorrow's emergency city council meeting, where the council hopes to resolve some of the issues from the lawsuit. The council meets tomorrow night at 6 Central Time. The judge will give her final ruling Wednesday morning at 9:30 in court. We have confirmed Loom and Higher Love are open tonight. Nirvana is reopening tomorrow morning. Grace.
Thank you, Clint.